Hi, my name is Josh Legard. I'm one of the founders at KickoffLabs, and you just created a campaign in KickoffLabs that is set up to use AnyForm. What I love about AnyForm is that you aren't tied to one design or one landing page service. You can take the AnyForm script and drop it into any page, whether you've hand-built the page in HTML, whether it's a Wix page, a Squarespace page. Just drop the script in and you can turn it into a KickoffLabs powered campaign. In the dashboard, the first thing you'll see is this concept of installing AnyForm and with a link to configure it. It's already configured to go to a status page, but just to look at some of the options here, if I went in to configure it, it's turned on for the campaign. It's set to redirect to a status page. You could also display a contest box, and you could redirect to a custom page as well. By default, looks for any form on a page, but if you have an issue with it picking up every single form on your site, you could change this form selector to be a little bit more specific. Email us if you have any questions about that. We're just going to keep all these settings the same and go back to the overview on the dashboard screen. So the first thing you probably want to do is to make sure that this campaign is running is I want to take that script, and I've got a website that I downloaded as a template here. It's just a template. It's just the HTML to it. There's nothing fancy about it. I downloaded the page off the internet, so I have the code for it. And if I enter an email address right now, you'll see nothing happens. It just kind of resets the page. But if I were to take the AnyForm script and then I would drop that script that I created in the campaign, and I'm just going to put it in the header here of that page, and we'll save it. And now we'll go back to this page and we'll add my email address again. And we'll click join the waitlist. And you'll see now I've been redirected to the status page for the campaign that I set up. It says, here's a logo. It says you're in. I've got some rewards set up for this campaign, and I've got some actions here, all on the status page. The status page could be run on your own site. It could be embedded somewhere, or it could be run on your own domain. Let's go back to the campaign dashboard and talk about what you should do next. The status page is important for the campaign, and so you might want to design the status page. This is not going to be a full tour of the designer. There's a whole video for it here. If you click need help, you can watch the big overview of the designer. But just to show you a couple things, so it is a landing page designer. I can change properties of a section. I could add whole new sections to the page. I could add additional content, like let's say this campaign had a countdown to it. I wanted to add a countdown timer to the page for when it ends. And I could delete sections on the page that I don't want anymore. But let's just say I wanted to swap out the logo. So from here, I could click on the logo. I could choose to swap it out. I can upload a new file, and let's just go to what I've got here to match the page there. So I've got the logo from that page. Just going to shrink it and make that a little smaller. And now it says you're into Uptime Mate. I can publish the page. And like I said, you can configure this URL, you can publish it to your own domain, or you could embed this page somewhere else. Now that I've got the status page set up the way I want it, you might want to think about some other things about your AnyForm campaign. So the first thing we recommend doing is setting up the scoring. So you saw a set of actions on that campaign that were configured where people can earn points. Maybe they're moving up a wait list, maybe they're in a contest and they're earning additional entries, but you can configure that here. So this is a campaign-wide setting under actions, under contest scoring. I could move these around. I could add additional action. We have a library of over 70 different actions that you could add from, or I could edit specific actions in here. So I'm going to edit this case as refer a friend action here. So I'm editing this basic refer friends action, which gives you a choice of copying the link or sharing a link to specific networks. Let's say I want to add a different network here. So I could add Facebook Messenger. We'll add that to the list. We'll move it on up the list. So now you can see I've got Facebook Messenger here as another sharing option to refer friends. And we're going to save that action. That's a quick overview of actions. In addition to actions for scoring, you can change the points given to people that sign up and for referrals. You could award people points for making purchases or tag them for making purchases. Back to the campaign overview. After actions, you might consider adding emails to your campaign. So we'll click edit messaging. Once we've gone into edit the messaging, You can see that I can send broadcasts, I can send an automatic reply, a verification email when people signed up, or reward level mails that we'll get to in a minute. Let's start with the automatic reply email. So I can just choose to send this to every lead that signs up. You might want to edit the subject, the message content, and customize it for your brand. But let's just get this email sending. We'll save it here. Now we'll be sending automatic reply emails when someone signs up. The next thing to look at are milestone rewards. You might be giving rewards with a campaign. They're not on all campaign types, but on this campaign type, I have them. And so you can edit the set of rewards. In this case, it was like free shipping, 30% off, or a free shirt. You might change these rewards if you're building a wait list to maybe like early access, earlier access, or instant access. I could add another reward. When I add rewards here, I'm asked to choose the number of points required for a lead to get that reward, provide a description. I could add an image if I want. This lets me show it in the UI like you saw on the status page. I could send an email to leads when they reach that reward, and that email could include coupon codes. And I could choose to get notified when somebody reaches this reward. So let's just create the reward level with all of those things and go back to the AnyForm campaign overview, and then look at the status page again for this. And you'll see that on the status page, now I have this fourth reward. There was no image, but you could add one later. Let's go ahead and leave it like that and come back to the campaign homepage. The full list of landing pages is here. You can always go and try new status pages if you don't like the one that you picked. You could pick from a library of over 50 different types of status pages, or you could, like I said, use the designer to design your own status page for your campaign. The last thing I want to talk about is just this top menu here. The list of leads once your campaign is going is always available under the Leads tab. There's a Reports tab to show you how the conversion rate is going. And then if I go to the Setup, and then under the Setup menu are quick links to all the things we've talked about already: scoring, actions, rewards, messaging, in addition to a list of integrations, so the full set of things that you could push leads to or integrate with, or all settings, including things like the fraud protection, turning on CAPTCHA on AnyForm so that people can choose which things look like traffic lights before they sign up, and you can verify that they're humans. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of setting up your AnyForm campaign. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to support@kickofflabs.com, and we'll get right back to you. Have a great day.